I went to the store and I purchased these vegetables, and we are going to cut these vegetables and turn them into lovely flowers in a beautiful bouquet. Okay, so if you watch my video on dicing onions, you know this right here is the root ball, holds it all together. Obviously, an onion is a ball. It's grown underground, obviously like this. Let's say this is the ground. It's grown underground. The root part is the part that goes into the ground, and that's where it gets its nutrients. Right here, a green thing will pop out of the ground. That's how we know there's an onion in the ground. What I definitely want to do is we're going to turn this into a vegetable flower. What I don't want to do is I don't want to cut this off. I want it to hold it together. This is actually where they got the idea for the bloomin' onion that you see at the Outback Steakhouse. So you simply cut the knob off, and all you're going to do is you're going to make cuts all the way around. But you're not going to go, you're going to go to the bottom, but not go through the root ball. And you're going to keep on doing that all the way around. Nice and easy, all the way until you get to the opposite side. Now, it's very important that you do this well in advance, because if you don't do it in advance, what will happen is you're still going to have the ball will still be all held together. All right. The reason that you want to do this in advance is because it will loosen up, and then you're going to, after you get done with this, you're going to submerge the entire thing in ice water, and then later on, you're going to place it in the flower bouquet. All right. So there it is. It'll slowly open itself up. It won't fall apart. What will happen is that root ball will hold it all together. So it's going to go into ice water with the rest of my vegetables that I'm going to use for my display. This is a leek, and I can show you how to do the leek. Very similar. So a leek is basically a large scallion. You're going to take the leek, cut the green part off. The green part is actually where the flavor is, so we're going to use that to make potato leek soup. All right, and all you do is you go and make straight lines. You do not go all the way through. You go all the way around. Again, you have the same kind of it's an onion. The root ball will hold it together. Right now, it's starting to fall apart. Once I put this in ice water and let it soak for a couple hours, it's going to curl up and it's going to look like a beautiful flower. Okay? Okay, we're going to start off with the pepper. I've already done a couple peppers, and they're in the bowl, and they're in the bowl with ice. All right. Majority of these things, in the perfect world, you're not going to be in a pandemic situation where you're doing this stuff at home. In the perfect world, you're going to be working in the food service industry, in a restaurant or a hotel. You're going to see what needs to come up for garnishes, and you're going to do your mise en place, which is French for everything in its place, and you're going to cut these the day before. The longer they sit in the ice water, the more they open up. So because of the pandemic, what I did was I cut a bunch of them earlier, and I'm going to show you the way to do it, and then you'll be able to accomplish it. You put it in the ice water and let it sit overnight. I did it, put them all in the ice water, ran downstairs, jumped on my Peloton with my girl, Allie Love, because she's a boss, and did 45 minutes on that, took a shower, and here I am. And you'll see the change in just about an hour's worth of time sitting in the ice water. So the first one is the pepper. What you're going to do is the side where the stem is, you're leaving it alone. If the stem is too long, you can cut it off, but you're going to leave it alone. You want that to stay intact, because that will hold the pepper together. You're going to take from the top, and you're going to cut down. And I like to, with these 4 fingers, push up, and with this thumb, push down. And what I try to do is I try not to make it straight. I try to make it curved, because what flower do you know has a straight edge? They all have curved edges. And all you do is just follow the contour. You go to the next spot, and you follow the next contour. And you're trying to think of it as flowers and leaves of a flower, not as like leaves that you'll find in nature. Leaves of a flower. So you go all the way around the outside, when you get to the opposite side, it starts to open up like a flower, and the ice water will really make it pop open. Now on the inside, you can see, I just ripped it a little bit. You can see where it's all connected. You want to break this right here. That will help. And take the seed ball and pull that out. Now it's okay because this is going to be a flower display to leave the seeds in. All right. So it's just like that. You pull it out and it wants to fall apart as it is. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that. I'm going to dip that in this bucket of ice water over here because these buckets are already filled. Right. And when we come back to that, you'll see how it opens up to a flower. The next thing we're going to do is the scallion. I already did a couple of leeks, and you can see how it's basically a larger version of the scallion. The leeks have already popped open a little bit, not as much as I would like, but again, only an hour. We want to leave the root ball intact. If you take that off, it all falls apart, so leave it intact. So cut off just the end of that. I'm going to get rid of that. And then you're going to come up about halfway, or not sure, I shouldn't say that, about a third of the way, and you're going to cut it. And then you're just going to simply take your knife, stab into it, and draw it towards you. And you're going to turn it, keep turning the scallion just a little bit, and you just score it. That's all you're going to do. This part right here can go in soup, can go in an entree, can be a garnish, right? And fun fact, the scallion and the leek, the flavor is actually in the green part, not the white part. Common mistake people make is they buy onions or scallions, they chop the green part off, throw it away, and use the white part and can't understand why they're not getting a lot of flavor. That's why. All right, so back to our little thing. Same thing, just go halfway through. I can do without the dog barking. Okay, now you take those and you dump those into ice water. All right, now the next one is going to be the radishes. Okay, so this is how I bought it from the store. You can see, if you get a little close up, you can see how much dirt is on the radish. These are grown in a very sandy environment, so if you're gonna use a radish inside of your food, you want to make sure you wash it really well. I purposely did not wash this one because I wanted to show you just how much dirt was on there. And again, I know this is not going in anybody's food. Now, if you cut the end off like this and just throw it into the thing, that's what happens to it, right? We're going to make a flower bouquet. I'm going to take this part right here, I'm going to put in my ice water. And again, I did these other radishes about an hour ago, and that's what it looks like. We'll throw that part away. We're not going to be able to use that. But this is one that's been sitting in the ice water. What a difference. And I can use that as the garnish. Okay? So, I cut the end off. There's a little root part right here. I'm just going to cut that little root part off. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my knife, and I'm going to start here. And all I'm going to do is draw it towards me. And I'm following the curve of the radish. Okay? I'm going to do the exact same. I usually push it down so I can see where that is. And I follow the curve of the radish. Okay? Same thing. Just nice and easy. Try to get just skin only. If I get an extra piece, I pull that out. And just do that all the way around. Okay? That's going to go in the water. Now, once it sits in the water, it opens up like that. Looks like a flower. Again, cut the end off. Cut the little nub off. Okay, into the water she goes.